Folks, we are live. Today we have a very special guest. It is Justin from Trading Cards and More. No, that is not a green screen behind him. That is his entire investments. That not his entire, but that is his investment. Right. And
some of it.
Yeah, man, he's Justin. The reason I want to have Justin on is a couple things. One, I enjoy talking to him. And two is last time I had you on the channel, like what, 6 months ago, you'd always been investing in Pokemon, but you were kind of doing some other stuff. And now you have since transitioned back and you are full-time in the hobby, buying and selling again, which I know a lot of people in this market right now have kicked around that idea plenty of times. So it's also great to talk to someone else that's also, transitioning and doing this lately and has been successful with it. So, Justin, man, you have the floor, dude. What do you have more to say? Like, what am I missing?
Not really anything. I mean, yeah, I started doing Pokemon cards in 2017. I didn't go full time until 2020, and I took a break last year. I did gig work for about a year, and then when the market just exploded, I started doing it full time again. So yeah, it's been full time ever since. Well, I say full time, but really I only work part time. But I let my money work for me,
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. It's just like, I mean, I think one of the things we talked about last time, which I know you believe in too, it's keeping your expenses low so that you can, no matter what you're making, that, I think that's like the common misconception with investing in anything is people think that like anyone who builds a large investment in anything is like some rich person or has some like huge income. It's just all it's about is keeping your expenses low, not blowing money on frivolous things and putting that money to work in assets that grow over time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably laugh at my yearly income. It's pretty low. So I keep my income low, but I keep my expenses low as well. I don't owe anything on anything. I still rent an apartment for under $1,000 a month. I'm perfectly content with that. And so living pretty frugally, I don't have any kids. I'm not married. It's definitely helped me be able to put a lot of my money into my business investments and everything else.
Yeah,
so it's done quite
absolutely.
Well.
And I mean, you're no stranger to the content world. So I mean, guys, if you didn't know, Justin what you have? You had over 100,000 subscribers to your old channel, correct?
Yeah. I did YouTube from 2016 to pretty much end of 2019 into 2020 before everything happened. And yeah, I had over 100,000 subscribers. I would do live streams just like you're doing. I've got up to, I don't know, 800, 1,000 people on the live stream. Lots of donations and lots of fans all over the place. I did a couple fan meets, so that was really cool. Just being able to kind of give back to my community.
It's a grind, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. There's a lot of stress and time and money and work, and I was making a pretty decent amount of money doing it, but it wasn't something that I saw that I wanted to do like forever or anything. So eventually, when the monetization kind of went down in 2020, I kind of saw a chance to kind of get out of it.
Yeah.
Pursue my trading card business full time.
How have things, changed since you kind of like stopped doing your other job and started, coming back in the hobby and doing this full time? Has your income basically kept up? Is it increased? How's that been?
Yeah, it's hard to really put numbers on it because when you're doing gig work, you're driving your vehicle all the time. Obviously your maintenance costs are going to go up, and so a lot of that money's going back into doing that. So you're not really making as much money as you think you're making. With eBay, it's kind of the same thing. You have your obviously your net sales and everything, but you're buying stuff for inventory, you're paying for grading and all that kind of stuff. So right now I'm grading cards, I'm grading packs, and then I'm grading video games are kind of like the main things I sell right now. So
how are the packs and the video games doing for you?
The packs do quite well. I mean, obviously I just sent off a bunch of prismatic packs. I sent like probably 15 of each artwork.
So it's like the brand new packs you're grading.
Yeah, I mean, anything that I feel would sell well. I mean, obviously the pack art has to be nice. It has to be a good set. So I kind of pick and choose which ones I want to do. Hidden Fates has done well for me. Obsidian Flames Charizard, Shining Fates Charizard pack. There's different ones. I mean, probably graded 15 or 20 different packs. I even got into some Mario packs. I sold a PSA 10 pack of Mario cards from the Switch, Nintendo Switch game.
What did that go for?
$450 for a 10. I was getting the packs for like $40 to $50. So,
Dude, Mario, anything with like a Mario on it is almost as gold as Pokemon.
yeah. So that's why when it comes to the video games, the stuff that I'm grading is like Mario stuff, Final Fantasy, Mega Man, Sonic, any kind of
Yeah.
IP that's like really popular, the stuff that I'm grading. And I've already sold one of my Final Fantasy games for $300. It got a 9.9, and I bought it
What
at
was
Walmart
that?
for
What game?
it was like Final Fantasy 16, I believe, for PS5. I got it at
Oh, so
Walmart.
like the brand new ones. Okay.
Yeah, I got it at Walmart for like $24. Got it graded, got a 9.9. I'm like, I don't even know what to put on it because there really is not a lot of competition.
But there's buyers.
Oh yeah, there's buyers. Video game buyers are great, just like Pokemon buyers, where if you have the item that they want, they're willing to drop money on it. I've only gotten 110 though with CGC. It was a Mario game. I still have it in my store. Uh, Pretty decent amount of 9.9s, a lot of 9.8s.
Yeah.
Obviously, anything under that 9.6s, 9.4s. They don't do like 9.7, 9.5, 9.3.
Mm.
Basically goes up by 2 each time, except for 9.9.
MSIP, I love you, but hate your video thumbnails. Ugh, I wish YouTube wasn't this way. Okay, that's fair. You know what? That's fair. Let's talk a little bit about the thumbnail and the title. So, title reads Pokemon reprints will crash the market. The thumbnail's a bunch of things getting reprinted. Pokemon with their hands on the, kind of manipulating everything. And so, no, it's not clickbait. That's one of the things we want to talk about. So, obviously, Danny Phantom made a video about prismatic reprints. Love Danny, great guy. I don't necessarily agree with some of the. I did watch the video. I don't agree with him saying, I wouldn't buy it unless you can get it for MSRP. I think that's a bad take. In my opinion, if this drops under $100, I think anything under $100 on a reprint is a pickup on these ETBs. Obviously, we've seen 151 really kind of come down, especially in the single pack price. Not as much on like the other products, but the packs are definitely coming down because of all the bundles that are continuously making their way on the markets. And so that is affecting things for a little bit, but nothing crazy. And then obviously the Journey Together talk is always like, oh, they got to print this. They got to print this. And yeah, it's coming down. I just filmed a video I'm going to release tomorrow about some of the reasons why. But, Surging Sparks came down. Stellar Crown came down before they ran. And so I don't think Stellar Journey Together coming down $20-$30 is a major indicator of like anything wrong. I think it's just normal corrections after the pre-release. But I don't know, man. What's your take on those three sets and the reprints and restocks we've been seeing?
Yeah, Journey Together. I mean, the price just started so high on it that it was just bound to come down. Whereas all the other sets like Surging Sparks, it just was climbing up because it was so cheap at the beginning. So it was kind of a no-brainer that the set was gonna kind of come down once supply got larger. Just like we seen with the Prismatic. Same thing with Prismatic when that dropped and all the ETBs were getting thrown on eBay and the binder collections and all the other products that were available. That's when I picked up all of the ETBs. And everyone's like, oh, I wouldn't buy these if they were, more than $50 or MSRP or whatever. But I was picking them up for around $90 on average. And then we seen the price go to what, like 130 something. So
Yeah.
I just laugh at people online that think they know what they're talking about. you know.
What's your idea on like what do you think a reasonably price would be if the reprints are, because generally a good size reprint is somewhere near half of like the original print run. A lot of the reprints we've been seeing in the recent years haven't been anywhere near that much, but even if it gets up there, like what do you think a reasonable price would be to buy in if people are waiting to buy in?
I know with the Prismatic ETBs, like I said, my buy cost was around 90. So I think $100 or less is good because what's the MSRP? $50 on a regular ETB?
Yeah, 50 or 60. I don't know these days.
50, 55, somewhere in there. I know I got a bunch off Walmart. I got lucky and I think I paid 55.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to think somebody's buying it. You're not going to probably be able to find it. All the bots and all the people are going to buy it up in 5 minutes. So pretty much double whatever MSRP is probably the lowest you're going to see it. because people want to make some money,
Yeah.
obviously.
And I know Danny, when he makes his content, he's looking out for his, audience, his customers or whatever. But look, if you can somehow get out there and fight the crowds and catch the restocks, or get on one of these Discord servers and catch the restocks, and you can get them at MSRP, like, that's great. Do that. Like, that's a home run. But I just don't agree with the fact saying that, like, if you can't buy a new product at MSRP, don't buy it. I'm with you, man. $80 to $100 is kind of the price range I'm targeting. If they fall anywhere in that range, I'm probably going to pick up more myself. So I would say probably $80 to $100 is a fair price on Prismatic. Especially seeing Crown, guys. Crown, if anything is a precursor, Crown Zenith should be that like, it was printed into the ground. Multiple reprints, booster bundle reprints, seeing skies to the moon. They had so much Crown Zenith product and late product, like after the year and a half mark, it still is $130 ETB. If Crown Zenith can do that, and Prismatic has more valuable cards and has God packs and demigod packs, and you don't think Prismatic is going to be more than that, I think you're out of your mind. And so if you're worried, about like what if you don't get into the very bottom, I think if you get an $80 to $100, there's no way in this hobby you're not going to make money in the next 1, 2, 3 years. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I have sealed ETB cases of Crown Zenith that are like in mint condition. I think I paid $375 or something like that. If you remember when they kind of like were readily.
I remember those days.
Yeah, so I held on to them.
You may have been in the Discord at the time when people were calling those bricks, and like anyone who bought them, like, what a bad buy. You could be buying, Lost Origin or something. You're going to be sitting on those for years with no gains.
Lost Origin. Yeah, Lost Origin topped out around 400.
Which is good. Don't get me wrong, but like
for like 110, 120.
Yeah, I mean, calling Crown Zenith not a good play at the $40 or less in ETB, it was crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, I knew when that set came out how good it was, and just like all the artworks and everything. I was like, man, this is a good set. And then you take the hit rates on top of that, where it's just so fun to open. It's just a no-brainer. But yeah, a lot of those cards really kind of came down and were way undervalued for a while there. Now they're starting to go up. Obviously, I've been grading a lot of those because the cardstock quality is way better on the Sword and Shield.
Yes.
I'm not even touching any of the Scarlet and Violet stuff because I got so annoyed at the print quality on that stuff.
I will say Journey Together has been quite a bit better.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but
I actually got.
online.
I hit a 10 on a Lily's Caferi. I listed it. It's at auction right now. I was.
Is it the one that's at $900? Because I was watching.
Is it already 900? I don't know. I was the 10th. I was the 10th in population, I believe. So there's a few people ahead of me.
It says PSA is selling it. So are you?
Oh no, it's not PSA. I'm listing mine.
Yeah. They sold for a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah, mine's only at $270 right now.
$270.
But I've got 6 days left.
Man, there's 8 of them. Dang.
So it's probably everybody that got, because there was only 11 in population when I looked, and I was like 10th.
I'm seeing like 12, 13. Okay, some of them are Japanese.
Yeah.
Or put the card number. What's the card number on that? Yeah, I was looking at them yesterday because I was looking to maybe buy one. They're around $200 raw on eBay. But it's just too risky because there's just too many issues with these cards. The one that PSA actually posted about on their post was like pretty good off-centered. Everybody was dogging it in the chat and the comments. It was pretty funny. I kind of put in my 2 cents about it because I said I wouldn't even have graded it.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Is like a lot of the cards that like people will ask me about, send, like I tell them most of the time, like, I wouldn't even send that. Because like I try to have a pretty good grading eye to where, I mean, if it's got more than one thing wrong with it, I just won't even try, because the risk of holding up capital and waiting all the time and then getting it and having to sell for a break even or a loss on a 9 isn't worth it for me, for the chance, that off chance the grader gives it a 10. I'd rather just send stuff that has a much higher probability.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like yours actually has the nicer centering on the front than the other one, couple of the other ones that I saw, which I wouldn't even have sent them with that centering.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, hey, I walked to my local card shop before release. They already had one out in the case. I looked at it. I'm just like, all right, looks good enough for me. I'll take a shot at it.
Yeah. What'd you pay for it, if you don't mind asking?
I overpaid. So
You
I need to
probably
make I need it to go for quite a bit to make some money.
you probably paid at least what, 400, 500, something
No,
like that.
I paid 330.
330, that's it?
330.
Well, like I said, the current auction right now is at 910.
That's what me and my friend, I was like, if it goes for 900 to 1,000, like that's kind of what I'm shooting for. I'll be happy because that'll pay.
Yeah.
That way I'll get the car, the grading fee, and I'll still like double my money. I'm happy with that.
So did you pay for like a really fast turnaround time then, or?
Yeah, I paid for, I'll have to look. And it wasn't super express. Maybe it was regular express. I think it was like the 10-day I paid for.
Okay. So it was
And
like
it came
150
back, or
bucks.
it got done early.
You paid like 150 or something to grade it.
No, I didn't.
No?
Oh, yeah, no, I did. Sorry. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did express. Yeah, 5 days.
5 days. So
Yeah.
150 to grade, 330.
Yeah, 150 with shipping and everything. I was thinking 180. So basically, between the car, I'm in it for about a little over 500. So if it goes for 9 to 1,000, I'm happy. It was a good,
Yeah.
few
Do
$100
you know what the
turnaround real
one,
quick.
did you see the one that sold yesterday?
No,
$1,822.
we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only one that
You know,
sold so
you know
far.
what I love
So
about this too. What I
yeah.
love is how PSA has the authenticity guaranteed, because
Right.
once you send it there, you're done. If people want to try and
Yeah.
return it and say, "Oh, I'll return it because the market dropped," they can't do it. PSA will turn them down,
Yeah.
or not PSA. eBay. eBay will turn them down. So
Yeah.
as long as we get it through that authenticity guaranteed, you're set.
You're good. Yeah. I love it, man. I just sold my shiny Raichu from Neo Destiny PSA 10. $1,026 is what I got. But yeah,
It's so funny
sending it.
too. It's just like I do so many other transactions that are more money, higher volume. It's just funny that like it's just more exciting to me on like trying to make the first market plays to see like how much you can squeeze out of a brand new card. It's almost just like
Yeah.
entertaining. It's less about the money, it's more about the entertainment value.
Yeah, there's one that ends tomorrow, and then there's one other one that's at 350 that ends in 3 days. Pretty low feedback seller. And then obviously yours doesn't end for 6 days. I probably would have ran it at like a 5 day or something like that, just because as like the days go on, there's probably going to be more to
Yeah,
come out of the market, but you never know. Um,
right. We'll see. We'll see.
Looks like I just sold
Um,
another PSA 10 pack. Oh, great! I got a message on the Final Fantasy video game that sold for $300. Hopefully, they don't say something stupid. Just God damn it! Hello, I hate to be the bringer of bad news, but package arrived marked open yesterday. Oh God, what? Mm,
oh, dude.
how did it get open? What? Received
Sorry you had to
unmarked.
find out about this on stream, dude.
Yeah, that's not good. That is not good at all. What?
Ah. Well, one of the risks of selling products
Yeah,
online, guys, is
exactly. I
you have
mean,
to account for things like this.
yeah, you do. At least you get the $100 in insurance. That's kind of the
Yeah, you get that. I mean,
caveat.
every business goes through this. Like, so for like my pack breaks, right? I've been really, it sucks because I have a lot of really great buyers. I have a lot of really great buyers overseas, but at the same time, the majority of the issues I have with overseas buyers. And so
Hmm.
one I just had is they opened up a PayPal claim already on me, and the product hasn't been delivered. And so I reached out. I said, "Hey, what's this about? We hasn't even got there. How could anything be wrong?" And what was wrong is it's not there. And I'm just like, yeah, you're overseas. It's going to take more than 5 or 10 days sometimes. And so it's just like, man, I already have so many issues with addresses and all this crazy stuff. And it's just like, I don't want to stop overseas orders, but at some point when, one small portion of the business is accounting for the majority of the problems, sometimes you got to cut things out. It's just like, there's so many things with running an online business that you don't think about until you get into it, And what you're going through is one of them. What I'm going through is one of them. These are things that need to be talked about so people can like think about it before they just dive in and just see someone posting about some gain they made on a sale or some, amount of sales. I did 1 million in sales last year. It's like, yeah, but tell everything. Tell the whole story,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Eventually, I don't. I'm gonna get away from doing eBay and just live off of the investments. Um, I just sold a pack of Shining Legends with the Mew on the cover. That one's actually going overseas, but I don't ship overseas. I ship through the eBay global shipping program.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So it ships down to Illinois. I'm in Wisconsin, and then they package it and priority mail ship it and all that stuff. So it's kind of like the authenticity guarantee, where it's like it goes to them, they take care of it, it's out of your hands. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Something happens to it, so kind of a nice program. Just
I'm gonna make a statement. I need you to tell me if I'm right or wrong, or if you have a different take.
yeah,
With these price drops and these restocks that are happening, 151 is the best pickup in Scarlet Violet era.
yeah. I'm not going to argue with that. Argue with that on that one.
I mean, unless Prismatic gets a reprint and drops crazily, I think at all the current prices on all the current products, it's hard to argue. Like, as iconic as 151 is, and with the prices stabilizing and coming down, especially on the packs and the bundles, I don't know what else. If you're looking to buy, I don't how you pass up 151.
Yeah. Yeah, when everything kind of went up and I was like looking at Journey together, like I'm probably not going to get a lot of this. I bought a pretty good amount of 151 booster bundles. I have cases.
I remember you were sending me, like, I feel like pictures every other day. Picked up more.
Yeah.
Picked up more.
Well, no, I got the cases, the master cases.
Yeah.
So there's six booster bundle displays in each case. That's how I bought them. So that way, even those cases, like having a sealed one, is going to be worth more money than just having them.
Yeah, that's one thing. Hey guys, everyone, clip it. Clip this right now. Alex got it wrong. That is one thing I've gotten wrong with these new products. I did not see the booster bundles holding the premium that they do.
Really?
No, because I mean, booster boxes are always going to hold a premium because they're the most collected item, most sought after item, right?
Yeah.
And then ETBs make sense because they have the promo, and what they have good promos, good gradable plays. Those always hold a big premium. But the bundles, to me, always felt like, well, this is like a cheap knockoff of a booster box. It only has packs like a booster box. It has nothing else to derive value from. I figured it'd be valued just higher than the packs. Even sleeve blisters make sense because they have like that, that artwork. They're cool to display. People want like a set of each sleeve blister. Those make sense for a premium. I did not see these booster bundle sealed displays and cases having the premium that they're selling at. It's kind of wild.
Yeah. Not as wild as a person in your comment section that just put down 151.
Who is it?
Broly booster.
Alex is already wrong. 151 is Kaka. Surging Sparks has more expensive cards in there. If expensive cards meant anything, well, just look at Obsidian Flames compared to, I don't know, Paradox Rift, right? Or compared to Temporal Forces. Like, Obsidian Flames is worth more than both those boxes.
I compare
Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown. I think the Squirtle just overtook the Terapagos. I think they're both in like the $60, $70 range.
Wow.
Stellar Crown's a $210 box. The price of the cards don't always matter.
Yeah. Yeah, 151 just with the nostalgia is like a no-brainer. And the fact like how many people are opening it, it's just a good set. You just know it's going to be worth a lot of money. I mean, look at Evolutions. They printed that into the ground. You get booster boxes all day long for like $80 for the longest time. And now they're what? Way over $1,000 already.
And up until now, unless you got like that one PSA 10 Hollow Charizard, up until recently when the cards started to take off a little bit, dude, 151 cards were dirt cheap. That mega Charizard full art was like $100 and something card. Now I think it's up to 300 and something because of the run. But that was like $100 and something card, and the box was $1,000. So yeah, the singles don't always have a bearing on the sealed price. Now that's what causes a lot of debate in the hobby. Is a lot of people feel like that if there's no singles and there's no grading plays that make the cards worth more than the box is overpriced, it's manipulated, all those things. Whereas I just think those people fail to realize the value of sealed product.
Yeah.
I mean, judging by what you have behind you, I mean, you're what percentage? 90% sealed, I'm guessing. Or more.
At this point, well, if you maybe exclude my eBay inventory, so like all the stuff that I'm selling, buying and selling, it'd be probably close to 90%. Yeah, 85 maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what time of like the year, what's like going on in the market, you catch me in. Um, I'm like almost 100% sealed. Like there are times, like I know last year, a couple, I guess I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, a year ago, I loaded up on tons of alt arts. I was picking up as many alt arts as I possibly could. I was grading alt arts, and I mean, I had stacks and stacks of alt arts in my safe. And then into the run, I sold off all of those alt arts. And so like depending on when you catch me, it could be like, a good 10-15% of my investment in singles, but usually I move the singles and slabs much faster than I do the sealed because I'm usually looking for just like either not I don't like to say like short-term plays, but like, medium term, like anywhere from a 3 month to 2 year time frame. Or 3 month to year is what I'm looking for when I make those singles and slabs plays based on just like the trends in the market I'm seeing. So, but like right now, I've sold off a lot of that stuff. I sold off a lot of my slabs. I'm like 99% sealed at the moment.
Yeah, I've been selling a lot of slabs too. And some of them, have shot up in the last 3 months after I sold them. Like my ancient origin full arts. I had all of them, the Lugia,
You
the
held those
Lucky.
through a pretty good run though.
Yeah, I mean, I had them for years and years, and then I was like, well, this Rayquaza is like shooting up. It's over 1,000. Now you look at it, it's over 2,000. That
Yeah.
Lugia, I think, was like there was tons of sellers for like 600. I sold that. Now it's like 1,200. So it just in the last 3 months. I mean, because I sold these back in like December, January.
Now, are you picking up Japanese product too?
Not really, not anymore. I mean, I've got cases of the Japanese stuff, the high class stuff that I've held for a while. That's the only stuff I bought into really, but I'm
Yeah.
not buying anymore really on Japanese stuff.
Yeah, I just feel like if everyone, if like the all the people are right about English finally getting print runs under control and printing to the ground, whatever that means. If they truly get prices start dropping across the board on English, I feel like Japanese is going to drop as much or more.
Hmm.
I mean, I just feel like a lot. There's it's not always been my stance. It's always going to be my stance, and people can agree or disagree. But you're always going to have people that collect Japanese, right? They're always going to like Japanese. They like Japanese better than English, and they have their reasons. And a lot of the reasons are I get it. It's the original language. On average, they have better print quality. All those good things. But you'd be a fool to deny there's always another group of people that only switch to Japanese when English gets more expensive. And that group of people that say English cards are too much, so I collect Japanese because I just prefer the art. Well, once the English gets cheap again, and they're going to come back to English because that's the one they actually want to collect, and now it's cheap. And so, like, I think that crowd will move back once everything kind of regulates, which will hurt the Japanese market and the liquidity, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the slabs still haven't rebounded in the Japanese. I know that. When they did all those reprints on the high class stuff, like all those sets that I'm holding, they all
Yeah.
tanked down pretty good, and they've all rebounded really, really well now. So that's nice to see.
Well, yeah, the slabs, obviously, just because the print quality is so good that the tens are much easier to get. So there's not as like much of a chase on those
Yeah,
tens.
I bought one of the Sylveons from the Terrestrial Festival.
Have you?
Um,
Like
yeah, I
to
bought it.
grade or in a 10?
Yep, I graded it and it got a 10, and I just sold it yesterday. It's under $200 in a 10, so
Wow. It's
yeah.
crazy how much cheaper they are than English.
I don't even know what the English is on that one. It's got to be what, $1,000 in a 10 or something.
I mean, I've got a Flareon at auction right now in a 10. We'll see how it does. I think they've been ending in the 7 and 800 range for a
Hmm.
Flareon, and I think Sylveon's more than that. So I think it's got to be 1,000 plus.
Yeah, looks like there's one at auction at 787 right now. 1,200
Yeah,
buys
that makes
now.
sense.
Let's see here. Yep, 1,045, 1,150, 1,000. So I was pretty close. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't follow like the singles prices on all that stuff, but it's all pretty
Yeah,
good.
man. There's just so much always going on in the market. Like I know all the what here, I don't know if you still do, but you were holding a good amount of vintage stuff, weren't you? Like
Yeah,
cards?
I mean, all of my collection. Yeah, I had all the Rocket cards, Fossil, Jungle.
What's your take on those? Like, I know a lot of vintage has been going on a pretty big run right now. Are you looking to sell any of that, or are you holding all of that?
Oh, I've sold it all. The only stuff I have left is the stuff in my eBay. Like
Yeah.
I said, the Neo Destiny Shining cards. I have the Shining Charizard and knocked out Kabutops, Celebi.
Yeah,
Um,
I just had a consult call this morning with someone who picked up a lot of that stuff over the past like a year or so.
mhm.
A lot of like even like the real niche stuff, like all like the Scream promos, the Mario Luigi stuff, the ponchos, the a lot of the vintage first edition stuff. And that's one of the things we were talking about, is like just selling at these into these spikes. It's just I know, like, it's so hard to talk about this stuff online, like publicly, because here's the thing, and everyone in the chat, I'm right. Everyone gets very emotional depending on what side of the aisle they're on. If you own the stuff that someone's talking negatively about, you're immediately going to lash out and say they're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. This stuff's going to go to the moon. And then if you don't own the stuff, they're going to be on your side saying, yeah, it is going to come down. That's what I'm going to buy. He's right. And it's like, so you can't make these claims without having any visceral reactions on a live stream like this. But when it doesn't matter what you're talking about, it could be vintage, modern, Japanese, it doesn't matter. Whenever you see charts that have intense spikes and go parabolic, those are usually times that you want to lock in some gains, because there's a very high probability you'll have a chance to buy back in the future cheaper. And you don't know when that future is going to be. It might be next week, next month, next year. But any market in the world, you can look at any chart you want. When you see parabolic spikes, that's usually time to sell. From
Yeah,
what I've seen.
yeah, I agree. There's a lot of cards now that have gone up like crazy amounts of money, and you've seen them kind of come down. Um,
Yeah.
what's that artwork from Scarlet and Violet base that shot up to like $80?
The drowsy.
Yeah, and now it's like 35 or 40. I actually seen
Which I
last night.
think is probably getting you more of a fair price. Like, I could see that card being a $30 card. I mean, even
Yeah,
the Bubble Mew and 151 Charizard, like those, those were overinflated. Like, so when I was grading, large amounts of cards, those were two of the cards that continuously, every time I got one in a 10, I would put it in my safe. I'd hold it because I felt like it was undervalued. When those cards were going for like $300, 270, 320 as a 10, in my mind, I said, this seems undervalued for like the two top cards in these sets. So I put them away. When they jump to $1,000, I think it's pretty easy to see, like, okay, brand new sets, brand new cards, going from $350 to $1,000 in a matter of a couple of months. This is a parabolic move. This is probably going to come down. And so it doesn't matter if they're going to be, $1,000 cards in the future sometime. They're probably going to have some cooling off period. They're going to go stagnant for some time. It's probably going to take them some time to come back. And like, I just think those are the moves you want to look for if you're ever thinking about selling. Do you ever think about that with your seal stuff, or is a seal stuff off limits no matter what?
like selling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell any of it until I feel like the prices kind of hit their top.
So when you see things like pick some weird one, like Lost Thunder going to like $1,200 a box, does that's still no sell?
Um, I don't have any Lost Thunder, so I can't really speak
Okay.
on that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Sun and Moon stuff's all like 5 years, 6 years old at least at this point. So I would say,
I just see some of these moves that, like, man, they just don't make, like, in my mind it seems like a mid-tier set. Like, I'm looking like, okay, top tiers, like your team ups, cosmics, unifieds, and unbrokens, hidden fates is up there. But like Lost Thunder, you know, it's Celestial Storm, you got like Ultra Prism. I would say those are more your mid-tier Sun and Moon sets. And I'm seeing these boxes literally go up hundreds and hundreds of percent in a matter of months. And I
yeah,
get it. They're more scarce than ever. It makes sense. But it makes sense for them to go. For me, it makes sense for those types of boxes to make it to where like Unbroken and Unified were like a year ago, like 700-800 range. Dude,
mhm,
some of these just don't even make sense to me at this point.
yeah. I mean, definitely, if you have a lot of them, I would sell some of them probably at that point. Depending on when
Yeah,
you
just
bought
get your
them.
cost bases down and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of what I plan on doing. Is like once these boxes kind of get to a certain amount of years and the prices are multiple times over what I paid for them, then I'll start selling them off, dollar cost average out of them. Because obviously they're just, as time goes on, they're probably just going to keep going up, but there might be dips somewhere in there and where the market kind of goes flat for a while, like we've seen with
Yeah.
some of the sets, like Evolving Skies, that's been flat at 1,300 for a couple months now. So you could argue now would be a good time to sell, but then in a couple months it could take another run to like 1,500, 1,600. You don't know. So
No, I hear you. Is
am I
it's
the
so
plum?
early.
Am I the plumber from Craigslist? That's a pretty good one.
Fat belly. Um, it's so
And
early
when
to
it,
say, but is Destined Rivals going to be Evolving Skies of this era?
it's hard to say. I'm waiting to see the big chase card, right? The Mewtwo that everyone's talking about.
It just kind of feels like it's going to be.
It's going to be big, yeah. Well, based on
I
the
just don't
fact that
see a world where it's not.
the prices of the boxes are going to be like at least probably 300 come release, and Evolving Skies was 120. So who knows how high this box could get over the years, depending on how many times they reprint it. If we're still in this bull market, you can't even buy boxes from the distributors for cheap. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it's one of those sets where if it does start dropping low enough, everyone's just going to buy it, more of it, and they're just going to hold more of it, and it'll get opened even more. Like, because there's a point to where, put it this way, like everyone always like that is on two sides of the coin. One side's like, why would you ever open packs? Let's just buy the cards you want. It's cheaper. The other side of the coin's like, no, I actually want the experience of, pulling my cards and putting them in my binder. And it's just like, when boxes get cheap enough, people will just start opening because for the fun of it. Like, I want to pull that chase card myself. I know I can buy it cheaper. I don't care. I want to pull it. And so it's just like when the prices are expensive, everyone wants to hold because they think it's the next big thing. Even if it goes down, reprints and all that, then it just gets opened more and more, gets stored more and more, and it shoots it right back up. And so I just don't see a scenario where this set is not always an expensive set. I mean, I just don't. We'll see. Maybe I'm dead wrong. I think MSRP on this set is like a dream. I think it's a. I don't think we're ever going to see it.
Yeah, we might not with Destined Rivals. No, it's not looking like it. I mean, how fast did that sell out on the Pokemon Center? There was like, what, 1 million people in the queue or something?
There's supposedly a confirmed sale on TCG Player for a $1,200 PC ETB. If it's real or not, who knows? The person may cancel by that time, but someone actually clicked the buy button at $1,200.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's.
Folks,
I don't know, man. It's to the point where I'm like, I'm not comfortable like buying at these prices, and if I'm not comfortable, I can bet other people aren't as comfortable, and so if people get less comfortable and they start holding less cases, like what about you? Are you going to buy less cases of this set than you did previous sets at the beginning?
I mean, at those prices, yeah. I mean,
So at some point, there's going to be less people holding. There's less people opening at $300 a box. At some point, you would think the prices come down just because there's more on the market.
Right. Exactly. Like nobody's going to get mad at us because we're holding 20 cases of it or something because we're not willing to buy it at those prices.
And then I ask myself, well, maybe we're just brokies.
Yeah, we kind of
because I see people rip Magic collector boxes that are $300-$400 like water. I see sports card collectors rip those blaster boxes, rip all those boxes that are hundreds of dollars trying to hit those serialized cards, and they don't even bat an eye. And so then I start thinking, well, maybe we us in the Pokemon community, we've just been spoiled for years, and now we're catching up to these other hobbies.
Exactly. The problem is the term MSRP because Pokemon is setting the prices on all these products at essentially the same price on everything. And the problem is the market sets the price. The price sells for what the market says it's worth, market price.
Yeah.
But everybody calls it scalper price, which is just pretty much a made up word.
It is a made up word, yes.
Yeah, like we could do a whole video on that. It's just people getting upset because they can't find it for MSRP. So then they say, well, I have to pay the scalper price, but really it's just the market price. And because the market price is higher is because product is way better than all the other products that are whatever price they're at.
Yeah.
It's like Prismatic. It's just a way better set. Of course, it's going to be over MSRP. Same with 151 and any of these other top tier sets.
Well, what's great is me and you have been in the hobby long enough to remember when MSRP is a ripoff.
Yeah.
You'd walk in Walmart and see product on the shelves and be like, no, don't buy that. What do you mean? You could buy it for $40 online. Why am I going to pay 55 plus tax? Like that was a normal ETB. Like MSRP has always been a ripoff. You want me to tell you how we know this? Why do you think we were all sitting around talking about Sword and Shield sets still being on Pokemon Center like 6 months ago? They were sitting on Pokemon Center because MSRP has always been a ripoff for booster boxes and all this stuff. And so they would sit on there for years until finally the market price eclipsed the Pokemon Center price and it became a deal. And so it's only shifted in recently, and people like get all this scalping, all this hate because it's no longer, now MSRP is the deal and everyone's mad there's not enough to go around. That's the only reason.
Right.
Here's the thing. This is what blows my mind too, dude. And this is, I don't understand it to this day. We have went through this entire .com era for the past 20 years of our lives where everyone shifted to buying online and all the shopping malls are closing down and brick and mortar stores don't get much traffic. The majority of every business sells their products online. Would you agree?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah.
So now we get to Pokemon. Now it's, I can't find this anywhere. What do you mean you can't find it anywhere? Log on eBay or TCG Player or Amazon right now. I guarantee you can buy anything you want Pokemon. That's printed in the last 2 years. It's everywhere. You can buy, it's not the price you want to pay, but it's out there. And it's just like, it's only an issue. And then guess what? These same people, I'm sure they shop online for everything else in their life. I am sure you check every one of the people that are complaining about not being able to find it in store. I guarantee they've made an Amazon purchase or something in the last 30 days. So they're shopping online every day. They just don't want to buy Pokemon online. Why? Oh, it's more expensive. Well, it's how it is. And so like shopping online only becomes an issue when it's not in your favor. Yeah, when it's convenient, when it's cheaper, no one has a problem. It's only a problem now because you can get it a little cheaper in the store.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you can find it in the store.
Yeah, if you want to fight. And that's the other thing. It's just like, I've said this for years too, but no one values their time in this hobby. People will drive around and spend hours of their time, probably tons of money on gas, driving around to every store and finally find these MSRP boxes. And it's like, couldn't you just bought one at full price without going through all this trouble and waste all this time and all this money? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. I used to do that. It's been a couple of years, but when Hidden Fates was like in the stores, I would drive around all these different stores. I kind of had like a route, and I would find the Charizard, Raichu, and GX boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they were like $20 on the shelf, so I just buy everything they had, and threw them in my closet, and I still have a lot of them. Mostly the Charizard ones, though they're worth like probably a good $100 a piece.
What were those? The EX boxes?
I think so. They're the
the UPCs.
The GX boxes. You have the Raichu.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They're the same as
it was released with Burning Shadows.
Not Burning Shadows, Hidden Fates.
Oh, the Hidden Fates ones. Oh, so even earlier. Yeah. Oh, no, that was later. Okay.
Right. So it was like 2020, when everything was going crazy.
Yeah. I remember so many different ones because like when I just got in the hobby, like it was like a year after I got in the hobby, they had all those Charizard EX boxes from like the, I think it was like even Evolutions time. And then they had this Charizard GX boxes that were, the full art Charizard that was like, it was around Burning Shadows time. And then you're right. Then they had the Hidden Fates Charizard EX boxes or GX boxes. So yeah, all those were falling off the shelves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought some of those. I remember buying those even on eBay, the Charizard GX boxes. I actually pulled the Rainbow Charizard out of one of those. That was pretty awesome.
No, I really think it's what we just said. And a lot of people in the chat kind of agreed. I think we're just finally catching up to these other hobbies. Like I think sports cards and I think, this like Magic collector boxes, I think, and even when you look at like One Piece and things and some of these other card games, people are used to these God tier rarities, these serialized cards, these like one per multiple case or case hit rates. Like people are more used to these cards that are worth, high hundreds over $1,000+ They're more used to like these higher price boxes to where, getting into Pokemon, I think a lot of those buyers are having no issue with it. They're just like, oh yeah, makes sense. Where it's only the people who are just like, who have just been in and just been only introduced to the Pokemon market in the last like couple years that only have known cheap boxes. I think that's the area that's really being hit the biggest because it's such a shock to the system for them.
Yeah, I think what Pokemon needs to do is they need to have certain sets that come out that are just more expensive. But how would they know what sets are going to be like really popular? Like
what I said. I mean,
certain sets that are maybe like the specialty sets or like the prismatics or the rockets, stuff like that, where they just have the products maybe more money, MSRP. That way people aren't going to get all upset when they have to pay double MSRP. For instance,
I mean, I'm an evil collector, evil investor. We all know my thoughts, so everyone's not going to, this isn't going to be a surprise. I would love to see one of two things. I would love to see a serialized, or I would love to see a collector box for Pokemon.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
That way, the regular booster boxes could be cheap. The players get their hands on them. The collectors get their hands on them. Anyone could open as much as they wanted, just like a Magic set box or whatever. And then you have a collector box that's going to have, higher hit rates, maybe a serialized, whatever, and it's going to be more expensive. And that way, there's no complaining, right? Because everyone who wants to invest in the collector boxes, they can. Everyone wants to take the big gambles, they can. But then you don't have all the casuals and the game players all complaining that everything's too expensive because they have all their cards in the set box. It seems like a good fix for me.
Back first edition.
First edition, another
first edition. That would be really cool too.
Yeah, because I think
Magic has gotten it right with their.
Yeah, I just feel like we people like us who invest and who like want high value, we definitely take the brunt of the abuse, right? And I understand why, right? Because obviously things are expensive. We have the stuff. We're the problem, but I don't think people look at the other side of things. Like, hey, if you guys get your way, the Game Piece Army and everything's cheap, and well, what do the collectors do? Collectors don't want to collect things that are very cheap, very accessible that everyone has. Like, so does Pokemon just like completely alienate anyone who wants any value or collections? I think there's definitely an argument for both sides, and I don't think both sides need to hate each other. I think there just needs to be a good equilibrium or different products for each side. And I know that's hard to talk about online because online you have to be one side or the other. It's us versus them. But I think there's a world where everyone can coexist. It's just making every box $80 and all the cards inside worthless. It's not the answer. It's no hobbies ever survived like that.
Right. Yeah, I think they're doing a good job with printing stuff to make it kind of more scarce. I mean, obviously, if they made a little bit more product, the prices probably wouldn't be so crazy, especially with like the newer sets now. But from what I hear, they print this stuff like 9 months in advance or something. That's what everyone's saying online. So it's like, how could they have known middle of last year that Journey Together was going to be crazy, popular? So they, needed to print more.
Yeah, not only that, like they rent their printers out. Like Yu-Gi-Oh uses their printers. I think I heard MetaZoo is using Millennium Print Group's printers. And so it's like, it'd be like this. It'd be like, I don't know. I played hockey. So it's like, say you own an ice rink, right? And you're the owner. Like it's your ice rink, right? But you rent out the ice time to all these different teams for their practices from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And you have games running on the weekend. You have free skates here and stick and pucks here. It's just like there's only small parts of the day you can carve out for yourself. Like, well, I and my friends want to use the ice. Like, okay, well, we got some times here still. Well, I'm the owner. Well, yeah, I know, but you've already. What do you want to do? You want to kick out all the other businesses and stop taking their income? Take it all for yourself? What do you want to do? And I think people don't understand that. It's like Pokemon's got contracts with all these other companies. They don't get to just use all their printing whenever they want, whenever they get the whim, or whenever they say, oh, this set's expensive, we got to reprint it. It's like, that's not how this works. There's schedules. There's, corporations move slow, How
many people do you have on the live stream? I'm not seeing it on the screen. I'm just curious. Oh, it says
how many people are in here?
306.
There was just over 300. We're around 300 people in here.
Summer looks different. I guess This is the normal day that the plumber. The
So,
plumber is
okay,
normally on
guys,
today,
look.
and I'm like taking his place. So
All right, guys, here's the deal. If you guys want to ask Plumber those questions, you ask him. I don't know what's going on with Plumber. I have no clue. All I know is he didn't show up for the live stream 2 weeks ago. You know, he's posting videos with Cool Trainer Ryan. Talked to him very little in the last couple weeks. I have no clue what's going on with him in his head. What's up? So I don't. The show must go on. I'm going to keep creating content. I'm going to keep having live streams, and I'm going to keep having people on that I enjoy talking to that have interesting conversations with. And so that's where Plumber is. He's doing his thing. I'm not here to, I don't know. I'm not here to tell you. I don't have any answers for you. If you want answers, ask him. Like, ask him the answers. Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with Plumber. So, yeah, Justin's here this week. We'll have other guests in the other weeks, but yeah, I plan to be live on Fridays, and it'll be me and usually someone else. That's it. I don't know.
interesting.
It's always
I
a big
notice
topic of
he's
conversation.
making content a lot more now.
Like I said, I'm not gonna comment on what he's doing. I
No
don't want.
video
I'm not.
calls seem
I'm
to
not.
be kind
Here's
of-
the thing. I'm not gonna talk crap on Plumber. Like I just truly don't know where his head's at and what his intentions. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know where he's been. What he's wanting to do. He hasn't shown any interest in coming back on the channel. So I don't know. I don't know what you guys want me to do. He's got a YouTube channel. If you want to watch Plumber content, Pokey Plumber, like go watch him. I don't I don't know what you guys want.
Yeah. How's my video quality? It seems to look like it's a little bit sketched out. I don't know. Seems
It's
like
a
it was
little
pretty
fuzzy.
clear.
Yeah, it is a little
It was
fuzzy.
pretty clear earlier. I'm not sure really. what's
Yeah, it's
going
kind of
on.
getting.
My phone's literally set up like this far from the router and everything. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Oh man. Yeah, let's get now.
Somebody's asking if Celebrations is underrated.
Ooh, that's a good
What do
one.
you think?
Celebrations. Man, so first of all, that Celebrations metal gold Charizard, that's been moving up. The UPCs have been moving up. The packs. I'll tell you one thing, I'm sold out of Celebrations right now because all my Celebrations packs have gotten sold out in the breaks. There's definitely a resurgence in Celebrations right now. I don't know if that's just because we're getting closer to 30th anniversary or just because, people are moving back and either they're seeing Scarlet Violet expensive. So they're starting to go back and find older sets and realize, oh, wow, this set's great. You get tons of hits. There's a lot of cool stuff. But for whatever reason, yeah, I think Celebrations is still going to push higher. What do you think?
Same. I think it was just too cheap for too long. I mean, I was buying ETBs last year for like around $70, even to last like towards the end of the year before we saw that price spike. I was adding to my position because I'm like, these were $50 out of the gate. Now they're like 70, 75. It was like a no-brainer purchase, So I bought more and I was planning on breaking some of them down, but I just kept them all sealed. And I'm not buying them anymore at the current prices. But yeah, I think with the 30th anniversary coming next year, I mean, we've seen what Generations did once we got to Celebrations. What were Generations ETBs like $400, $500 or something? So I'm not saying that these are going to get to that level by next year, but definitely could easily see $200 plus. I don't see why not.
Alex, you would go, but man, hold on, Alex, you would go, but man, pushing serialized cards for 2+ years. Sorry, you got to see it to believe it. That Pokemon will go that route. Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to. I'm just saying that's what I would. That's like my opinion, dude. Yeah, I'm not saying like be worried they're coming. I'm just saying if I had to do something to like please collectors and investors, I would either do that or separate the products, do a collector box and a set box. I think there's a way to please both, but I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Celebrations. I hope the market goes back to where instead of getting hated on for like anything and everything for like what I do with like investing or my content, I hope we go back to the days where I get made fun of again for investing in Pokemon, because Celebrations was one of those sets where I was buying the Celebrations UPCs for between $180 to $200, and people were literally just crushing me in the comments and everything, saying how stupid it was. It's double MSRP. Such a all this stuff they're going to reprint into the ground, and I got up to either 16 or 20 of those at the most when I had them. I had like 20 Celebrations UPCs that I had for an average price of $180 to $200. And when they went to $400 very quickly, it was amazing to see the reactions from everybody, like of kind of the astonishment and disbelief that Pokemon didn't reprint the product. And I think the same thing is going to happen right now in Scarlet Violet. I think I understand like the whole like mentality of they need to print it all the ground, it's all coming. They said they're going to do it. I think people are going to be very surprised in a year, 2 years when they finally realize some of this stuff, it just ain't coming. Just ain't coming. Celebrations is the perfect example of that.
Yeah. When did they stop printing Celebrations?
Well, they reprinted the ETBs. They just never reprinted the UPCs.
Right. Yeah.
And so
yeah, I knew those UPCs would be pretty good long term. But yeah,
and the same thing happened with PC ETBs recently. They had put more stock of other PC ETBs up in the past and reprinted, or I don't know if it was reprints, whatever, but that was a big shock to everybody, which kind of led to this PC ETB boom, is when Pokemon just stopped putting more stock up. They stopped putting large amounts of stock after release, and it stopped being widely available. And it's just funny to see the market react to all this, because like everyone's initial reaction to everything is, oh, it's a new set, it's going to get reprinted into the ground, they're going to print it forever, I'm going to wait. And that is the reaction you hear to every single set. And the reality is, yes, some things are going to get reprinted, some prices are going to correct, but not everything is. And, just getting angry that it doesn't is not any way to be successful in the hobby. It's the same people I saw complain about Evolving Skies not too long ago about when it was 180 a box and it had already got a reprint. Everyone saying, oh, they're going to reprint it again. No, people said this. I could literally show you a million screenshots because I saw a million of them in my comment section. There is no way Pokemon would allow a set to be this expensive that's still in rotation. Do you remember that? People saying that?
Probably, yeah.
I mean, I remember it like it was yesterday. And sure enough, they never reprinted it again. And the boxes ran to 350, 400, and everyone missed out. And then even then, people were saying, oh, well, now it's overpriced, you can't buy it. And I was one of the people that listened, because this is me learning across being in the hobby. I was one of the people that listened to all these YouTubers that I thought knew what they were talking about, saying all that nonsense. And so I sold out my Evolving Skies position when it was $180, $200. And I had to buy back in my position in the 350 range, because then I finally realized, no, they don't know what they're talking about. It's not coming. I want to have a position in Evolving Skies. I bought back in 350 range when people said it was all too expensive, overinflated, all this. Then it went to 700-800. Now it's at 13. And it's just the mentality that everything is always going to get reprinted till it's all dirt cheap. It's the wrong way to think about this hobby.
Yeah, that's why you got to kind of like block out all the market, all the noise and stuff and comments online, and everybody thinks they know what they're talking about, because you just end up kind of screwing yourself over.
What do you do with your positions? Do you try to get a majority of it at release, or do you kind of like buy some, wait for a reprint? Like how do you kind of handle it?
Well, like with the booster boxes, I've been buying them all pretty much at release. And then, if I see another opportunity to buy in later on down the road at a good price, I'll add some more to the position. Like I just bought a case of Twilight. We just had that restock, reprint, whatever you want to call it, with Surging and Twilight. And so I got a good price on a case. Obviously not even close to what I paid at the release. I got my Twilight cases for like $565. But yeah, mostly just trying to get them at least in this market, because we've seen what's happened with pretty much every set now. Comes out at release, and then later on down the line they do a restock, and it's more money than what it was at release. Just like Surgeon, the I'm gonna wait crowd when it was 150 or wherever. They're gonna reprint it down the road, and it's it's gonna go way lower. And then now we've seen what happened. It's still holding at 250, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's say you get those, like if we do see reprints on things like Surging Sparks, Twilight, whatever, are you going to move in up like more positions? Are you happy with the positions you have? How do you handle that?
Yeah, it just depends on what comes to the market, how much it is. I mean, obviously, in this bear market that we're in, we're probably not going to see $100, $120 booster boxes again. So I've already got a pretty good position in Surging. Journey, I'd probably add some to it, and then pretty much any of these other sets, if they get deep enough, I would add more. You know, especially because they're getting older now, especially the stuff from 2023, you know,
Yeah.
the earlier booster boxes. Like when they did that first Paldea evolved reprint or whatever restock, one of the guys in your Discord actually bought a couple cases from him, and then the price like shot up, and now you know those are way more money than what I paid. I think
Yeah.
that was probably like right around 6 months ago.
Hey, if anybody's got questions you want us to take, leave some questions in the chat. We'll take them
What
for
about
you.
you, Rick?
Oh, go ahead. What? What were you going to ask?
What's your position on buying stuff? Because I know you're not buying a lot. Like you don't have a lot of Journey together sitting, and I seen you just sold some Surging Sparks PCTBs. What was your thought on that?
Um, I'm just freeing up capital to pay my house off. And so I'm just kind of like giving like a little haircut to positions that I'm not like I just had, either too large positions or just products that I'm just picking and choosing what I just like feel better about or feel like don't feel as good about. Like with the PCTB thing, I think they'll still do fine. It's just I had a lot of Surging Sparks ETBs because that was back when you could still order as many as you wanted, basically. So I just had multiple cases of them. So I was just kind of getting rid of some of those, just like taking down my position sizes. Um, I did sell X, Y, and Sun and Moon products that I had because I just felt like they reached heights that I didn't think would come for years, and I felt like they're getting a little overinflated in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. So I did sell off that
Yeah,
stuff. Like, so my idea is just freeing up some capital to do other things. Like I just that's kind of been behind my goal for the past years to, you know, quote unquote pay off the house with Pokemon investing. So that's kind of just what I'm doing. There's nothing more to it.
yeah, that's not a bad idea, especially in the market we're in. Because if we look at what happened in 2020, 2021, we were in this euphoric market and everything was inflated. And then coming off of that, 2022, 2023, the market went down a lot, and people are probably like, "Man, I wish I just would have sold." When all that euphoria was happening, I could have made so much money. So selling
Yeah,
right
and
now, some of these products is probably not a bad idea.
yeah, and my conservative nature is probably to my detriment. I mean, I know it is to this in this hobby for sure. It's definitely a mistake that I've made is not going bigger and not being more aggressive. But I also just want to make sure I protect, myself, my family, me, my wife, from anything like that. Because especially now that my career is tied to Pokemon and the hobby and content, you never know that you go through big swings in this stuff. And so my goal is to like reduce all of our bills to as low as possible, get completely debt free, and like to the point where like we need such low money, kind of like you, like need such low money to actually survive each month that nothing that happens is really going to affect us. So like, market goes down, investments drop, content falls off, this falls off, stuff stops selling as well. None of it's going to really affect me because I'll have cash in the bank, I'll have investments, I'll still make some money here. My wife's got a job. So it's like my whole thought is to like take away all the risk out of life. And that way, things get more fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you there. That's kind of where I'm at now. I'm not really worried about all the short term noise because
Yeah.
I'm holding on to everything for a number of years. So, um, but you got a lot of questions in the comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
So Snorlax Haven said, off topic, but what is the best way to keep or store sealed promos? I have a few hundred from Sword and Shield SV and plan on keeping them long term. I mean, honestly, man, I just store them in like a card box. Just leave the lid off. You don't want to like crush the paper or the plastic. If you're too worried about it, you really want to keep them like super nice. Just use card savers, card saver ones. Just put them in the card saver. Um, you can even honestly, there's some of the ones that have the bigger packaging, like back in the day, but like all the newer ones, you can usually actually fit in a sleeve. Put them right in a soft sleeve. You can put them in a sleeve and then put those in the card saver. But that's probably gonna be your best way. And then put those in like a PSA, card storage box, something like that. What about you? Just that same thing?
I've got a few promos and that are still sealed. I put them in top loaders.
Oh, top loaders.
And then put them in like top loaders and then like a team bag, so they're not going to get bent up or anything.
Yeah.
Then just store them in a box. Pretty simple.
Let's see. Fusion Strike or SV 2-5 booster boxes. What would be better long term? Oh, that's a good one. What's your thought, dude?
At a current market price, probably would buy. You could probably get almost 2 SV2 boxes for one Fusion Strike box. So
that's what I was just
I
thinking.
would probably go that route, honestly.
I was just thinking that same thing. I'm like, SV2, that's Paldea. I will put 2 Paldea boxes up against Fusion Strike in the next couple of years for sure.
And then
because I'm thinking like
on temporal forces.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm pretty bullish on temporal forces as well. I actually upped my position on those right before Pokemon Center sold out of the booster boxes on those. I was buying some cases on eBay for like around 1,000 a piece. Just because when I bought all my temporal cases, it was around when Twilight released. There just wasn't that many on the market, and I don't feel like they really printed a lot of those. And I don't know if those are going to get like a big reprint or restock or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just think it's kind of an undervalued set.
What about Crown Zenith? Tony wants to know where we see it in a year. ETBs.
Hard to say. What are they at 125 now? In a year?
Yeah.
I don't know. 180 maybe, 200 max maybe.
I was gonna say that maybe
not quite that much.
180, maybe 200, but like I could definitely see booster packs it being $15 in a year. So that'd be 150, little premium. Yeah, 180, 175, 180. That sounds about right, probably. Unless the market goes through a big dip and then everything just stalls, that could happen too. Like guys, like don't forget the fact that we could. Yeah, we could go through a time where things stall out.
Yeah, it's easy to look at things right now. Everything's euphoric. Everything's going up. You can buy sealed, sit on it for 3 months, make money. Singles are going crazy. But
yeah,
when we look at what we went through in 2022, 2023, I mean, I had to go out and work a regular, I was doing gig work, not really a regular job, but things were rough there for a while. And then we got into this crazy bear market and everything's shooting to the moon.
Yeah. Gavin said, should I wait to get the prismatic ETB for less than 100? Yeah. So Gavin, we talked about that earlier. Yeah. I mean, I think the reprints, it could be a possibility they drop under that. If they do, anything in $80 to $100, I think it's a great buy for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like I said, I was probably average price I was paying was $90 or just slightly under if I could find deals or buy multiple at a time. So that price, I just don't think we're ever going to get lower than that, even if we get like really big restocks or anything. Because whoever buys up the restocks, they're going to sell them and try to make a profit. So.
Fernando said, how's Buddy feel about Creed? He feels, hold me now. Oh man. Classic
from the edge of mountain.
Classical Gaming, should I buy prismatic SPC instead of Destin Rivals booster box? Oh man.
That's a hard call, but probably the prismatic, honestly, because we were just talking about the celebrations one. It's pretty limited and not like we're going to see a bunch of reprints and stuff. And I doubt anything like the 151 is going to happen where they just have them at Costco, buy as much as you want kind of thing, or we see them on the shelves at Target and Walmart. So I think that'll be a good product. I didn't get any. I think most people that got them online were in lines and got maybe one if they're lucky. I think they probably had limits on them. And I think the Destin Rivals, I mean, it's going to be expensive, but it's going to be available. I mean, you're going to be able to go to your LGS and buy it for whatever they charge for it.
Do you think there's going to be any price ceilings on these PCTBs? Because I feel like there's not really any price ceilings on booster boxes. Do you think there comes a point where people stop wanting to buy these when they hit these 400, 500, 600 plus price ranges? I'm just trying to picture a world where we have boxes like Evolving Skies and Team Up and Flashfire. Like, it's hard to imagine a world where PCTBs are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Like, I feel like the price ceilings on those may be lower. What do you think?
Sorry, you're breaking up. It's probably my connection's kind of breaking up, so the audio is kind of
okay. No, I was just saying. I feel like the PCTBs might have lower ceilings. Like, it's hard to imagine a world where Team Up, a Flashfire, an Evolving Skies box being like $1, $2, $3, $4, $5,000. It's hard to imagine a PCTBs getting to $4,000 or $5,000 or even $1,000, $2,000. Uh-oh, we're losing him. Oh, there he's back. Justin's back. Did you get any of that? Guys, we lost Justin. Justin, if you can hear me, try to exit out and rejoin. Let's see what the chat, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? 500 sounds good. He's back.
I'm back. I turned off my Wi-Fi and now the audio sounds way better. So hopefully,
now you look really clear too.
It had to be the Wi-Fi then. That's really weird because I'm like right next to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, now it's perfect. Yeah, so what I was saying was like, it just feels like the price ceilings on some of these ETBs might be a bit lower than what booster boxes could get to. Like, could you imagine like PCTBs getting to like a Team Up Flashfire box level?
I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
I mean, it's just, there's such a new product, so it's like it's possible. It's just, it's hard for me to envision that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they have the legs, if they have the liquidity, the sell-through rates to get there. Because it seems like once these ETBs get to these high valuations, $400 or $500, the sales definitely drop off quite a bit. Whereas, when you get to the higher dollar booster boxes, they do drop off. But man, these Sun and Moon XY boxes, Evolving Skies, they're still very liquid in these thousands of dollar price ranges. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you got to think a PCTB doesn't have nearly as many packs as a booster box. So that has to do with the price as well. Not
yeah.
Just, the scarcity. And
it's basically all the value of that promo card at that point.
Yeah. I was going to say the promo card. PCTB promo.
It's hard to tell. Hawk Lugia says 500 sounds good. 500. Yeah. Like, I could definitely see them getting to the higher hundreds, like 5 to 8, 750, something like that. That seems reasonable. I just find it hard for a lot. I feel like a lot of people are going to be more likely to pay $1,300 for an Evolving Skies box than they would $1,300 for a 151 or Prismatic PCETB. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm out of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew says singles market seems to be cooling off. I know you're not into singles much, but looks like I should be loading up on IRs and SRs at Chicago Collecticon. What's your take on that one, man?
Well, I'm not dumping a lot of capital in singles. I'm like you, I'm trying to keep it in the sealed, and the singles market is way more volatile. Like, it's hard to predict what's going to happen. So yeah, there's probably a lot of IRs and SIRs that are probably a little undervalued right now. So going after the ones that you think are a good play, but not necessarily like buying up everything, Obviously, like the newer sets and stuff's really high priced, because everybody wants the new cards. But if you go back a year, 2 years and start buying some of those that are just kind of bottomed out, some of those might be plays. That's kind of what I've looked at.
I feel it's a really dangerous time to be grading too, especially with the long turnaround times and the kind of volatility of the market. I mean, making a lot of grading plays where you have kind of a margin worked into it, and by the time you get them back, Well, if the margins dropped and the cards dropped, now the PSA 10s aren't making you as much. Now the 9s are all losing you money. It's kind of a dangerous time to play singles.
So
I mean, what are you doing with? Are you making a lot of grading plays right now?
yeah, I mean, I'm only buying a couple cards a day. So I grade through GameStop, and I'm getting about a 5-week turnaround time, start to
Okay.
finish. So that's really not that bad. And I have 2 active, um, submissions. So every 2-3 weeks, I'm getting a submission back, and then whatever cards I accumulate, buying to grade, I'll take in there, pick up my grading submission, drop off a new one, and I just keep doing that over and over again. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Are you only allowed to have one at a time?
No, you can have as
Oh,
many as you want. But the thing is GameStop for me is like 20-minute drive. So I'd rather go there when I have a submission come in and then drop
yeah,
off all the cards that I have ready to be graded. Because it's usually like 20, 30, somewhere in there, 35. And
yeah.
so I'll drop those off at the same time so I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then a couple weeks later, my submission that I sent previously, that'll be done. And then I'll just keep doing that and rinse and repeat. So
Hold on.
what
Could one of you speak to your boy Trump and tell him to cool it with the tariffs? I have PSA submissions to send to UK. A couple people have asked about the tariffs too. Like, is that something you're even like looking into, taking into account? I mean, here's the thing for me, guys. Like, you probably want to talk to like Pokey about that one. Like, Brian's gonna be one that deals with the much more like overseas stuff, like with all his Japanese business, and like I know he's into like Korean, Chinese cards, all that. Like for me, I only mess with English. All the English stuff's printed here. All the suppliers, distributors, like people I buy from, like from the community, from Instagram, Discords, are all here. So I don't really deal with it as much. Like maybe some of my overseas orders I sell in pack breaks. I don't think tariffs really affect private sales like that. It's more like companies like selling products and things. But so I don't really know if the tariffs going to affect me. So I haven't looked into them that much. But Justin, do you have any take on any of that?
Um, I think it's mostly only affecting if you're like shipping stuff out of the country, right? Or buying stuff like Japanese product or something like that.
Yeah.
As far as the English product goes, I don't think it's that affected much. You're just selling here in the US. But yeah, stock market has gotten a hit pretty hard. I've seen it on the bottom of my computer screen. I was like,
Oh, it's been down like $1,600 2 days in a row, or 1,600 points.
yeah, my IRA's lost some money in the last couple of days, but
It's
I'm
down.
not
Oh,
too
it's
worried
down
about it.
1,800 now. I'm sorry.
That's crazy.
I am. I am starting the buying process. That is for sure. I am, and that's another reason why I haven't been making as aggressive Pokemon plays. I'm also been allocating capital to stocks because I buy in these times. Like not financial advice, but when I buy when things aren't good. When Pokemon boxes are coming out at $200 and $300, I buy less. When the stock market is dropping 3,000 points in 2 days, I buy that. When Pokemon wants to, go back to the time where again people like me and you get made fun of for investing in this stuff, that's when I buy a ton. So like that's why I have so much Paldea and 151 because everyone was laughing at me saying, Alex, you need to wait. You're putting dead money in that stuff. It's going to be there forever. They're going to reprint it into the ground. That's when I was saying, okay, I need to stock up on this because everyone's, when everyone doesn't like something, that's when you need to like it. And so, yeah, man, I think there's massive opportunities buying into the stock market right now, depending on whatever stocks or funds you prefer. This is usually the time where wealth is made.
Mhm. Yeah, did you see? Actually, Rudy dropped a video I think yesterday, all about what you're
I
saying.
did see it. Said like Timmy, now's the time to buy, and had the stock chart. I haven't watched the whole thing, but yeah, I can tell it's probably about that same thing.
Yeah,
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 it's just common sense. Like whether Rudy tells it to you, someone you can. It's common sense. You buy when everyone's panicking, when there's blood in the streets, and you take your profits when everyone's at the highest state of euphorias. And I'm not saying the stock market was at the highest state of euphoria because we hit the highest, a while ago. But I mean, Pokemon, it's just like who we're talking about with all these like, Sun and Moon XY stuff. It's hard for me to tell because I know I had a question here. Where is it? Let me take it real quick. It was like oh no, it's Terraform. Someone asked about Sun and Moon. Sorry, I missed your question, but I did. Someone said like, what Sun and Moon products do you recommend right now. It's hard for me to recommend those products because they are in such inflated prices from what they were just 3, 6, 9 months ago. And so like those are the times where again I just sold my Sun and Moon XY product. These are the times I look to sell. And so I can't sit here and like in good faith recommend buying that stuff, even though it might be good plays. Like, do you recommend any Sun and Moon XY stuff right now that you see opportunity in?
I'm not even looking at that stuff anymore because all the
Yeah.
prices are, so much more expensive than what obviously we could have bought in 5, 6 years ago.
Yeah,
So
there it is. But yeah,
I
so like
yeah.
that's where I'm at with it. So it's just like and here then I could be wrong. We could both be wrong. Like there could be great plays there. It's just I like to go the path of least resistance and the least risk. I feel like buying into companies in the stock market right now that are 30% less valuable than they were yesterday or 2 days ago is a better risk, lower risk than buying into a box that just went up 200%. That's just where I'm at with it. I don't know. Man. It's strange times. What are kind of your plans going forward this year? Like, what are you changing up anything? Is it business as usual? Are you pulling back, going harder? What are you trying to do this year, man?
Pretty much the same thing I've been doing with the grading. Grading the slabs and packs and video games. And
Are you pushing more into packs and games and less and more away from Pokemon cards or what?
No, I'm still grading the cards. I'm not working like crazy hours or anything like you are.
Yeah.
I'm kind of at a point where I'm just working part-time.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
What, let me live vicariously through you, man. What do you do with your free time, dude?
Man, what do I do with my free time? Lately, I've been going to the casino, but I don't recommend it.
So gambling away all your profits? I like it.
Well, I like video poker, and I've made a little bit of a profit doing it, but like I said,
Nice.
it's not something that a lot of people are able to do or could do. So I don't recommend it, but it's fun. It's a fun hobby, and it gets me out. And I don't have a lot of friends anymore, sadly. They're all too busy for me. So
I look forward to having free time again one day.
yeah,
I dream about it.
it's
I
fun.
remember having free time. I remember what it was like distinctly.
Yeah, and I like disc golf too. A couple of years ago, I traveled and I played disc golf tournaments all year. I met all the pros. I competed in over 35 events. So it was like every weekend. So that was really nice. That was after we kind of came off all that euphoria of the card market being up so high. So I made so much money, and
Yeah.
I was able to just like work a couple days a week and go out and travel and stay in hotels, and it's a lot of fun.
What is someone asked, what's the biggest, well, ask me, but we'll both answer it. What's your biggest non-academic, non-work related accomplishment? Well, obviously marrying my wife.
Non-academic.
I got to give that answer so I stay in her good graces.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I'm trying to think
Man.
what I've accomplished. Not work related. That's a really good one.
I will say, all right.
Huh.
I'll give one. So back when I played hockey, they had this like this league all-star game. And it was like, a couple people from each team got chosen from the entire league. And you played an all-star game, against each other. They broke up the teams. And it was cool because it was on Father's Day, right? And my dad was there. And I ended up like getting a hat trick, getting a couple assists. I ended up getting I was the MVP of the league all-star game that year. And it was on Father's Day with my dad there. And like, I don't know. I always think back to that. That was a pretty cool day, pretty cool accomplishment. So I'll throw that one. What about you, man?
So yeah, it would probably have to be disc golf related. I took down some pretty big tournaments.
I'm sure I can imagine, dude. I've seen some crazy disc golf like shorts of ridiculous shots being made.
Yeah, I was never on that level. When I started, I was 20 years old, so I was advanced amateur. I never got into the pro ranks, and then I kind of got out of it because of work and girlfriends and stuff like that. So I didn't compete for a lot of years. And then when I was about to turn 40, then I was like, well, I can compete against in the they call it Masters division.
Yeah.
Like 40 and up, 50 and up, 60 and up, so on. So I got into that, and I was at the top, in the top whatever percent, 3%, 5%, whatever it was. So I traveled around, played in a lot of tournaments, and took down some pretty big. They're called A tiers. There's like A, B, C, and then
I didn't know disc golf was that competitive.
Oh, it's extremely, man.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
There's a guy in my area in Illinois. Actually, it's in the Midwest, and he runs a lot of really big tournaments. And he has fields that are like close to like I think he had one that was like over 2,000 people between all the different divisions, and there's like 8.
So did you did you make anything for these tournaments or anything?
As an amateur, you don't.
Oh, you're an amateur, right? Okay.
Yeah, so you don't take cash. You take
Right.
it's called funny money. So you're basically getting product like discs, bags.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Basket, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome too.
Yeah, so you get all this product, and then you get what's called a player pack. So like when you enter the tournament, you might get like a nice T-shirt, an umbrella, a couple discs with like a tournament stamp on it, mini, all kinds of stuff. So
Gavin said his old teacher was a world champion in disc golf. What's his name? Justin might know him. What's his name, Gavin?
Well, there's world champion in like the professional level, and then there's like all the different amateur divisions as well. Like I competed.
So did you play in that world champion match? Or that what is it?
Well, they have the world championships in the the male and the female.
Oh, it's got to be pro. That's right. I'm sorry.
Right, but they also have amateur divisions, and they have it's called Am Worlds, so it's amateur worlds,
Yeah.
and then we have the Masters Worlds, which I competed in that one. I think we had 150, 160 players in my division.
So what do you say, man? Do we just blow the rest of the stream off and go to the casino?
Sounds like a plan, man. I'll get in my car and drive down.
I mean, now you said that, it's got me itching. I'm like, maybe.
Yeah, I need that.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna go place a couple bets, just a couple. Like,
I need that blackjack. Joe Revere, wow, he's a really good. He won the worlds in the male 40 and over.
So you actually know him?
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know him personally. I haven't met him, but he competes against David Felber. He's like a big name pro.
Yeah.
He was actually in the pro ranks, but now he plays in the Masters. And so he was a world champion.
That's awesome.
I've met him. I've talked to him. My brother and I both talked to him. He's a real cool, down to earth guy. I ran into him a few times down in Illinois, in Peoria. When I was down there, I ran into him when I was leaving the course. Yeah, Felberg's pretty cool. He lost against Revere a couple times, but he's not competing on the same level that he was when he was younger. But he's still, he's still one of the top guys. So yeah,
a lot of disc golf players in the chat, man.
And the thing is, Joe Revere hasn't been like playing for like a ton of years, and he didn't play like in the pro ranks for like a ton of years before he went into the Masters. So it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do. But yeah, he's taken down a couple of the Masters Worlds now. I don't know if it's 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
That's pretty cool.
But he said, where did he say? I've heard. He said something about he knows him, or
it was his teacher.
Oh, his teacher. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a teacher. Yeah, so he has a full-time job on top of being a disc golfer, which is pretty crazy.
All right, man. We'll take this. This will be our last question, guys. Fun question. If I gave you both 10K each, would you rather invest in Pokemon, Bitcoin, stocks, or Forex? Whew. 10K right now.
What do you pick him?
Right, like today, it's probably going to be stocks. As crazy as that sounds, just because the market, the Dow Jones just dropped over 3,000 points in 2 days, guys. Like, that's the equivalent. I mean, that'd be like if one of these Pokemon sets crashing and like saying like, that'd be like if prismatic boxes. If prismatic boxes came down to like $60, I'd say, yeah, I'm not going to put 10, 20. I'm going to put 20 grand in them, right? And so it's just like when I see something like that, it's hard to say like, nah. That's why like I'm definitely gonna put money into that right now. But like for the past, like if you asked me this question like 3-6 months ago, man, I was dumping all my money into Paldea Evolved. I was putting money into, 151, into any new set I could get anywhere from 100 to 150 a box. Like all that just makes so much sense in Pokemon. Right now, it's so hard to get product anywhere much less than $200 a box. So it's not as attractive as it used to be. It will be again, but it's just not as attractive at this current moment, especially with what's happening in the stock market with the tariff stuff. So that's my answer. What about you, man?
Yeah. I mean, since obviously I have a large position in Pokemon, that's probably the route I would go. I don't know what exactly I would buy. I might
Yeah,
not if I had to like buy something today, but obviously I've seen way better gains on my Pokemon than I have on my stocks.
for sure.
But so I'm just
Over the
as
long run,
yeah,
sealed Pokemon's it.
right. That's where I'm at with
But
it.
like,
So
yeah, like throwing money in the market right now, like that's like a different question, right? If I had like some time to let things like plays develop, of course I'd choose Pokemon.
mhm,
It's just I just don't have anything on top of my mind right now that I could say is a great play right this second,
right. Yeah, exactly. Because we're in such a
Hey, one
crazy.
last question for you, man. Do you have anything out there that you show off your collection? People want to see it.
Um, the only thing I posted photos on my Instagram years ago of like some of my cards and stuff, which I've sold a lot of those cards, so can't really.
Is it trading cards and more on Instagram?
Yeah,
Okay. Also,
and
guys, I did share Justin's eBay. His eBay page is the top of the description. I'll pin it to the top of the comments. So make sure you check out his eBay. He's got, like I said, everything he's talking about. He's got cards, he's got packs, he's got graded video games, all sorts of collectibles and things. If you guys are interested in that stuff, and you're buying from a legit person, a trusted seller. I've bought tons of stuff from Justin. Everything's shipped fast, shipped well protected. So definitely a good source if you guys are looking for any of that stuff.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for carving out some time in your day.
yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been 6 months. A lot's changed in 6 months. So
Dude, it is. I mean, it's crazy. Like I said, you going full time's huge because a lot of people are in this hobby right now thinking about that. Like that's on their mind is, should I go full time? And it's like you've done it, and I mean, it seems like you haven't been happier.
yeah. Well, I've been in the hobby for 9 years, so it's not like I wasn't.
True.
I was already doing this full time for multiple years. That's just I kind of took a little break because of the market, and I kind of got burnt out with grading and all that kind of stuff with the new
But you know
area.
how it is. Like
Yeah,
relying on it again for your income to like pay your bills it definitely adds a little stress. I feel like having stuff listed and like having investments. Maybe it's just me. I felt less pressured when I had a job. Like I was definitely way more passive than I am now. Now I pay attention to things a little more closely, but I think it definitely changes when you're relying on it for your full income for sure. I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I don't like I said. I don't make a lot of money. Or I don't try to like keep my income really high. I reinvest a lot of it, so I don't really need a lot of money to survive, I guess.
Pokey will tell Trump that he loves him deeply and wishes he was his father. That's really nice to say, Pokey. Oops, wasn't supposed to send that. No, man, you can say that. Dude, hey, dude, look, anytime you want to come and confess your undying love for Trump and how much you love his tariffs, you can always come to my channel, brother. You know that. You're always welcome.
Big shout out to Brian. I've been watching him for quite a number of years through his TikTok videos and obviously his YouTube video now. So if you ever want to do a deal with some sealed product down the line, I'd be down.
Yeah, dude, Brian's the best, guys. Like, shout out Pokey. Dude, it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it. Brian's just one of those people that never jumped on any of the bandwagon hate and all that stuff, like, and jumped on like the dog pile that people do on me all the time. So like, come on the channel plenty of times. Always showed support, helped me out plenty of times. Like, I'll never have a bad thing to say about Brian. So yeah, guys, make sure you check out Pokey if you're not. I'm sure everyone here is already subscribed to him, but if they're not, make sure to do that. Great content. Even though he did say he's putting a hold on his business content for the time being. So we'll see what that looks like. Interested to see the new era of the Pokey for the time being. That'll be fun. But cool. All right, Justin, man. Appreciate you guys trading cards and more on eBay, Instagram. Check him out. He's also in the Discord, the Nostalgia Now Discord. If you guys aren't a part of that, there's a link in the description below. There's an invite. So you can always catch him in there. I don't know how active you are in there anymore, but I know you're in there from time to time. So you can always message Justin on there and talk to him. But that's pretty much it, guys. We are going to call it there. We'll be back here next week with another one. Appreciate everyone showing up. Justin, anything last to end us off with?
No, appreciate having me on. Thanks for the shout out. And yeah, if anybody wants to check out the eBay and support a small business.
For sure.
I'm needing some sales, especially after that package just got opened up or whatever.
Yeah, guys, help them out. Help them out. If you see anything even relatively close to what you were looking for, dude, help them out. It's always better to give someone, some support that that you at least know somewhat instead of just some random faceless name on eBay, right? So right. I'm for that, man. So, all right, guys, check them out. Support Justin. Appreciate all you guys showing up. See you guys next week. We are out.